we are live.
We're live. Check and see if we have sound. Quick. All right. For those of you that don't know, we have no swearing on this show for the first 3 minutes. The timer has been set. I hear sound. We're good. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. You're good. What do you mean? I hear the echo. Unless I'm traveling back in time. You hear it? We're good, baby. We're good. All right, listen.
Wait, where's that coming from?
Your phone.
Oh, wait. You know what? I'm an idiot. I have it on. I'm sick.
Fred is our sound engineer. He's our co-host.
Genius.
And he is not very good with sound.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. We're still not good. I can hear myself. Do it.
Where's
I like
that coming
it.
from? You gotta have it pulled up over there.
I do not.
Oh, you know what, dude? Sorry.
I do not. We're gonna work on these sound issues.
No, we're good. I just had all the places that we like that we go live stream to pulled up. So
all right, listen. So for those of you that are brand new, this is the Loathing Octopus podcast. I don't know what episode we started. I think this is 78 because
78.
We did this thing where I had a hip replacement. I was high on all different kinds of painkillers. So I started a video game channel, which we turned into a podcast after I came off of drugs.
Turns out it doesn't work out very well.
And you can't really turn the channel over. It doesn't work out that well. So we're coming back over here. We're 77 episodes in the can on another channel. But YouTube hated us because we do all kinds of weird stuff.
Well, they hated us because our algorithm is confused.
Yes, the algorithm is very confused. And we walk the line of impropriety all the time. There's no episode of this show.
What is more American than that?
That you will find us not walking the line on something. And we kind of stand by our positions. We make no apologies because we're idiots.
We're still on the other channels, Twitch and Twitter and all the other stuff. Same thing. And we're going to get it up and going. So I'm being lazy with the Apple Music and all that other fun stuff. But now we're not a bit because we're not on I never got us on any
for this channel.
Pure audio stuff, which is where the podcast stuff started anyway. But we'll be up on Spotify and all that good nonsense. But see what happens.
I would say you can go back and watch these 77 episodes, but since we cover kind of current events, unless you want to really dig through a catalog down the road, we'll have it available.
Or if you're just a loser.
But for now,
if you're a loser.
I'm going to set the tone. I'm going to set the tone so you guys know what you're getting yourself into. Fred and I are not the smartest people in the world. We are very opinionated. We can swear now.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
What is going on outside?
Oh, we might be getting raided.
It's the hospital and people.
Come for me. Anyway, so Fred and I, we have a lot of issues, which we use as kind of as therapy. So we're going to say some things that piss people off, hurt people's feelings, all that stuff. It's not coming from a place of
no one understands
malice.
That in America anymore. So
you know
if you
what I
don't
mean?
like it, eat a dick.
Yeah. It's not coming from a place of malice. If we say something that offends you, we're not doing it to hurt people's feelings intentionally. It's just our opinion, which we're allowed to have. And
allegedly.
You could disagree with us and still hang out. So if we say some shit on this show that you don't agree with, doesn't mean you have to go away. You can leave me a comment. And I'll probably agree with you and be like, the shit I said was fucked up.
Really, and we're just going to gaslight you in the comments.
Yes. Unlike Joe Rogan, I will read all the comments and probably have hurt feelings and, eventually
hurt my feelings.
Eventually harm myself. But you have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Seth is a cutter now. Episode 125, Seth is a cutter.
Look what you've done to me.
Why are you making me sad?
That's one thing I always
don't make Seth sad.
Whenever you ever dated somebody and you say to them, I've said this to girls before because I know how mad it makes me when people used to say this to me. Look what you're doing to yourself.
No. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Look what you're doing to yourself is the best. Because when somebody's really mad, they're obviously mad at you, but
it's not my fault.
When
your dad
you turn it around,
games.
Look what you're doing to yourself. Like, that's just
you're
going to be enraged.
Daddy wasn't around. That's why we're dating.
Yeah, shout out to anybody out there with daddy issues.
What up?
What up? All right, so
I got all the issues, family issues.
So we kind of cover basically anything that comes up that interests us.
Dude, everything's stupid.
You'll see. You'll see. We may have a bunch of you until I start talking about flat Earth and think, or I don't know what kind of thing we're on, and that'll fuck everybody up.
Look into it.
I have still pyramids found in Antarctica.
Dude,
nobody's talking about that shit.
Yeah,
so we talk about a lot of weird stuff.
And
Politics and movies. We don't know what this is.
Everything's going great right now.
We did 77 episodes and we still have no idea. Like if you said, what's the show about? We don't know.
Stuff and things.
Yeah, we don't know. It's not about politics. It's not about entertainment. It's not about art for sure.
America.
Yeah, it's about America. It's an American story about two
retards.
Two middle-aged retards wandering through the interwebs with a ragtag setup.
A weird, a thrown together jerry rigged. Is that what it's called?
I don't know, but there's a piece of artwork hanging above me that could kill either one of us at any second. So that's a bonus for anybody who tunes in live. You may actually just watch somebody get smashed.
It's like a weird,
like it would be getting hit.
It's like a weird reality show. Like one Seth's gonna die.
If you got hit, it'd be like getting hit with one of those things you beat meat with. And I'm not talking about your hand. I'm talking about like one of those things you'd beat a turkey breast or a chicken breast with.
Yeah, I have one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what is hanging above me. But a human, if you're gonna beat a human with it. That's what's above us.
You could take out with that.
It's wild. Anyway,
that's not coming down.
I know you always say that, but what I just say, I'm trying to get people hooked on the show, and if they think that we might die at any second, maybe they'll hang out.
Yeah, we might die for other reasons.
That's true.
Death.
So we've got a lot of stuff going on in the country. I'd love to sit here and talk about the pyramids in Antarctica with everybody, but let's, we'll touch on that in the end.
Seems like very convenient that they're like, hey, we were almost over all these issues. Let's bring them back up again.
What do you think of the Roe versus Wade thing? Obviously, that's
so I have a different opinion about it now than I did before, because I was always like, I'm a states guy.
Mm-hmm.
It should go to the states. But also, if you look back to when it was federalized, there was no abortions anywhere. So that kind of pushed it to have abortions.
What do you mean? It
was illegal pretty much everywhere. And then when it went federal, and the states started opening them up. And then I think 11 states have banned abortions now. But it's just so illogical to me that you're going to do that, because there's still going to be abortions. There's always going to be abortions.
How long has abortions been being performed in society? Like
forever, dude.
Forever, like but they were like hitting people with rocks. They pushed them downstairs.
There's a documentary on HBO that shows 4 different scenarios, like an abortion clinic getting bombed, and then they're showing like coat hanger abortion.
But I mean, like in the Middle Ages, do you think that?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, they must have handled it differently, right?
I just threw them off.
That's what I mean. Like you get a girl pregnant back then, you pull a Kennedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd be like, get in the car, we're going for a ride.
No, not even cars.
Don't worry about it.
They're gonna just throw your ass off the cliff or something.
Yeah,
but
100%.
But like women will just still. It's just going to force people without money or in a bad situation to get dangerous abortions. That's what's going to happen, or they're going to go across the states. Like, it's not going to stop the whole thing. And I'm not necessarily on board with abortion. I think it sucks, but it's like it's a reality of life.
I agree. Here's the thing. I'm not looking from my perspective. I've upset a lot of people with this opinion, because I don't know why people ask me what I think about this, because I'm a 260-pound dude. I obviously can't.
No one's taking my baby.
I'm not pregnant unless I had Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like then then you might mistake me for somebody who's about to give birth. But here's the thing.
A turd. I'm gonna abort this turd.
Outside of what this is. So let's say this isn't abortion. This is just a blank thing, right? Let's call it
my body, my choice.
No, but let's just take this for what on face value, without the personal feelings attached to abortion.
You can't do that.
Well, no, we can, because here's why. Or I want to try.
All right.
Let's say this is something the Supreme Court has overturned, or turned back to the states, not overturned. Well, I guess it technically is overturning.
Because there's no reason behind there's no if you're going by purely constitutional, which normally the conservative judges are more, they're not progressive, so they're like I forgot what it's called, constructionalists, so they go by the Constitution. There's no protection under the Constitution for you having an abortion. That's the whole point.
Right.
So
all these judges do is interpret the Constitution.
Well, the right-wing judges generally are more constructionalists, and then the left-wing judges are more progressive, so they're kind of interpreting it in different ways. And that's why the contention's there, But yeah, really, like the way the country's set up, it's supposed to be the federal government's not supposed to have all this power. That's the whole thing.
That's
why only constitutional things. That's why the Second Amendment is something they can do because it's in the Constitution. It's protected under the Constitution. But really, like abortion shouldn't be protected any more than me constitutionally having the right to get a fucking a colostomy bag or something. You know?
Right.
Like
here's the thing I like about this happening, and it's not because I like the fact that they took away the ability to have a safe abortion in some states. What I like is and this is what I mean about it being a blank issue that happened to me. What it's done is it's turned something that the federal government used to control back to the states, which is, in my mind, I like that. Now, I don't like I don't like I want people to have a safe abortion.
It's kind of a catch-22.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but at the same time, I really like the fact that the states are getting some power back.
But that's here's the thought process behind it. I like that too, but there might be a way, because the whole Roe versus Wade thing is a very weak argument, but there might be an argument that there might be under the Constitution, if someone really put it together, an argument that would keep it under, because I'm obviously not a constitutional lawyer, but there might be a way to say, okay, because it's a woman's right. Like personally, I think at the end of the day, like it's got to be the woman's decision. That's the only viable answer because it's in her body. Right. If it's really coming down to it.
Yes.
But I think the argument was weak, and it was set up on a weak thing, and that's why they're getting rid of it, which that's good. But like maybe come up with a better argument to say, I mean, there's got to be a way under the Constitution. Like if you're a constitutional scholar to figure out, like, because it's not like just a normal medical procedure. It's like, okay, like here you're stuck with this thing that you can't do, and you might be completely fucked, and you need to get rid of it. And if you do it, you know what I mean? But it's not in my body, dude. You know?
I do.
So it's
agree.
yeah, and they make the argument, oh, if it was a men's body or whatever. I'm not even sure if that's the case. Probably a little bit. It'd be a little bit easier if it was the man that had to deal with it. But I mean, at the end of the day, when all's said and done, that woman's stuck with that fucking kid, and the guy can take off, and everyone can not give her help, and you're fucked. You know? So it's like,
I agree.
How the fuck could you not have? How is that not under the rights? That seems like you could make a constitutional argument for that somehow, you know?
Right.
They just had a very terrible argument to get that through.
Here's the thing. When we first formed this country, it was supposed to be a bunch of different states with different values and different populace.
Like almost like Europe was.
Right.
You know?
We're big. If you look at the United States, we're huge. Some of our states are as big as countries.
They were almost supposed to be like countries, like
right.
separate countries and stuff.
So we're supposed to be the United States of America, meaning that we are all of the 50 states united under
the constitutional part,
right,
but the federal part.
But the states are supposed to decide how their people want to live in those areas. In other words, you don't want people in Manhattan telling somebody in Utah how to live.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's supposed to be. That's
supposed to be
because we created the federal government from the ground up. There was like one of those 13 states.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be like, hey, you guys have these specific things. Uphold the Constitution here, which is very usually cut and dry, but it's like it doesn't get involved in your life.
And here's the thing: it's never. Imagine our country is a neighborhood, right? Is it a good idea to go constantly fuck with your neighbor over everything he does?
Yeah.
Maybe you got a neighbor that's completely different than you. He has different values. He decorates his house different. He's constantly doing some dumb shit you don't like.
Yeah.
But instead of you making friends with this guy and trying to understand where he's coming from, you got to do what I do. This guy, you better listen to my values and what I say. And that guy's like, fuck you. Who are you coming over to my yard and talking to me about this dumb shit? Dude, I don't care. That's where we're at.
That's a great
That's right where we're at. We're a neighborhood.
Because it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like, hey, you don't like it here, but it got out of control. Right. And now the federal government controls too much shit and everyone goes to it where it's like, they have a very specific rule. And I think that's the thought process of like the conservative judges, like, hey, we're going to give everything back to the states. Bad timing. But also, here's the other part of it, too. That's a little crazy. Same-sex marriages and also interracial couples is another thing that came down from the federal government. So now people are worried about, is that going to be on the chopping block, too? I don't think anyone would get rid of interracial shit.
I don't even think that anybody would get rid of gay marriage. But here's why.
I don't.
Here's why.
I don't know.
I think that there was a big enough interest from one part of the populace against abortion. It's always been there.
I mean, it's one of the most contagious.
Do you know what it's? Yeah, I don't think there's truly that many people.
I don't know, dude.
I don't think
guarantee
so.
there might be a couple states that'll try to get rid of it.
Okay,
the religious fundamentalism shit, where it's like, even with the stuff now, where it's like, I'm glad you like a book. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but like, you're now imposing your shit onto somebody else, like, because you're taking that moral high ground because you believe this one thing and they believe this, and you see how it gets crazy. It's like, oh, now it's 9 months you can have an abortion, or now we're banning it before 6 weeks. It's like, now you guys are just asking childish,
right?
You know? Because most people are not gonna have a fucking abortion at 9 months. I don't think. I tried to look up statistics of that shit. Like, you're basically killing a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens, but it's probably, or like rape and incest, or if the mother's gonna die. Do we really need a rule for that? Like, shouldn't that be between the doctors? Hey, you got 2 options. You're gonna die if you have this baby, or we have to do this. Like, so now you got to make that decision, and it's up to you shouldn't have to be like barred from that. I mean, it's a terrible place to be to have to make that decision, but like, that's none of my goddamn business.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like I said, when you look at this place like a neighborhood, we have to stop. We were originally designed to come together in a threat, to face a threat, to deal with something as basically our colonies, right? And that's when we were supposed to come together and have all of these, we'd raise an army and we'd do these things. That's how it was initially formed. But we wouldn't bother each other. We wouldn't harass.
Well, it's like, hey, you want to hang out? You have these values. You go hang out. You live there, and we'll live here. Type of shit, you know?
It's dangerous though, because
it's hard to keep together.
Because slavery is an issue that kicked off the Civil War.
There was
because it was so personal to people. The North was like, we're not dealing with this shit anymore, and the South was like, yes, you are. And the North was like, listen, dude, we're not fucking.
Because they ended up.
They wanted them to enforce the runaway slave law, and the North was like, we're not enforcing that shit. And the South was like, yes, you are, because it says here that you have to. And the North was like, no, dude.
No, because the only reason these fucking jackasses got in there is because they're like, we're not going to be able to get this together without these assholes and their stupid slavery shit.
Right,
so we'll do it, and then we'll fucking work it out later. And that's why a lot of these people.
We put slavery aside to fight the British.
Well, we put it aside to keep the country there because it was like either that or it would go away. And then it's like, and then, okay, now we're going to deal with it. And at some point we had to deal with it, and we did. And it's like,
here's the thing. The country, I think, is safer. You know how people talk about having a peaceful divorce? There's no such thing. It's always going to turn into a shit show.
We can't be the Balkans.
Maybe this type of stuff where we slowly return power back to the states and we let people elect, because the states are a democracy. It's a popular vote for the state.
It's like ripping the Band-Aid off right now.
Right. But the popular vote speaks for the state. It doesn't speak for the president.
Yeah.
But it speaks for your state. So if you have a populace that wants a certain type of shit, it's much easier to change at a state level than a federal level, right? So I think not that I agree that we shouldn't have safe abortions for people. I think it's crazy to not have safe abortions. That's my opinion.
Well, it's crazy because
opinion.
it's going. This is the thing that drives me nuts about the conservatives. I want to like ask Ben Shapiro, like, hey, you guys are all about statistics and numbers. It's all about that, right? Until it comes to this issue, and then it's like all this other bullshit. It's like, dude, you're not getting rid of abortions. You're just making yourself feel better about it because fucking abortions are going to happen. And the clergy and the goddamn rich people are going to get abortions. And you're going to have to travel out. You're not going to stop the dude. However the fuck you want. Like, no, I don't think abortions are good. I wish we didn't have them. But you know what? It is what it is, dude.
Do you know what? So
it's not logical.
If you watch any media, mainstream media, they're not having this kind of a conversation where we're talking about what actually happened.
They're yelling about talking points.
Well, it's not even that. They're trying to avoid if you watch CNN, they're not going to say this returned power back to the states and blah, blah, blah. They're going to say
no one even understands that.
This gets rid of abortion and blah, blah, blah. And they fan those flames. You know how I know? Yeah. I ran into 2 people today who asked me what I thought about it that I know. And I told them, I said
3 this morning.
I gave the same fucking answer I said. I said, listen, I don't like the fact that people can't have safe abortions. However, I do like the fact that the states are getting power back. And you know what they kept saying to me? They didn't even understand what the fuck I was saying.
About, dude.
I was like, you don't understand that what I'm saying? And they were like, it's going to harm the minority people.
Yeah,
first off,
we know, dude. We know it's going to.
Both these people who are yelling at me were 2 well-off white women Both of them.
Of
Yeah,
course,
and they
dude.
brought up
That's the
minority
biggest problem
neighborhoods
is
and
the
stuff. I'm
Karen
like, listen,
bitches.
I want to be like, listen, you live in a
You don't even
motherfucking.
fucking know any black people.
Who the
you
fuck
fucking
are you
cunt.
talking to? And you don't even know what's happening.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the shit that
when's the last
aggravates me.
time you went to the hood, bitch?
Yo, you have to talk to like nobody's having these real conversations. Like,
No, because no one understands. It's the problem. No one understands any of it. Like, do we get rid of what was it like where you learn all this shit? Like social studies,
civics, right?
civics, right? So people don't understand like how the country is set up. So now this is like everyone thinks the federal government is the end all be all, and the whole point of it, they've slowly got too much power. And look what they're doing. They fuck everything up, dude. But I understand. Like, I don't think abortion should be banned in any states at all. I don't think it should be banned anywhere. But now this is the knee-jerk reactions because you see how it goes back and forth. New York, 9 months, and then it goes, well, we're gonna ban them, and it's like tit for tat, like a bunch of fucking children.
And
without
that's
even
the
thinking
part
about what's
that's
actually
so
going
fucking
on, dude.
stupid.
Like, oh, you're not gonna let someone get an abortion, and this is one of the talking points on the left. Oh, if you rape or incest or whatever. First of all, how often does that happen? What kind of psychopath is not gonna let that happen? If you want to, you got raped by your fucking dad.
Right.
We're not going to let you get an abortion.
Right.
Dude, what kind of fucking human being are you?
I know. It's sad. And
It's fucking crazy.
Here's the thing. My philosophy or I don't know what you would call it, my morality always comes down to what's going to be
Head or gut.
what's going to be safest for people. How do we handle this in a safe? How do we get out
And
of
what's
this
the reality
in
of
a
the
safe
situation,
way?
too? You know,
Right?
like,
We don't want people getting hurt. That's my thing. I get it. Some people feel, and they're right. Listen, as a personal story, I had 2 abortions in my life that obviously I didn't.
I had to do one.
I was with a girl who we decided to have 2. It was the most tragic shit I've
It's
ever been
horrible,
through.
right?
It affects me to this day.
Dude.
So I can speak on it from a personal level. I was up at night for months, like almost a year, trying to find somebody who could talk to me about this shit, like on forums, all this shit. So even if you have one, it's not it doesn't just go away unless you're a heartless motherfucker, right?
Dude.
It's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. 100%.
I had to do it, and the girl knew she was pregnant in 2 weeks, and I still was a mess I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it was probably the right choice, but it was like, this shit still fucks me up, dude. Because I didn't want to do that. I never wanted to be in that position, and I was always safe about it.
Yeah.
And it happened, but I was like, I'm glad the option was there, but also it's not easy, dude, you know?
You know what happens when you see on social media and you get some of these thoughts and these fucking jitbags whores that are on there going, I got 9 abortions.
Well, you know what? That's why you're not married.
Somebody who's really conservative sees that bitch say that.
And
they
think
fucking are losing their goddamn minds.
That shit
they
is
take
so,
that out on everybody else.
That shit is so disrespectful.
It is really fucking disrespectful. It's a piece of shit human that would say something like that. But what happens is the fringe crazy people become the focal points. No, because it's so egregious.
Because it is, though. But
And
you
it
gotta
is.
take
When
it
I
for
hear
what
that, I'm like, this fucking
I don't
whore.
want to hear this shit either, dude.
Right, it's fucking whore. And then the other side sees that, and they have that knee-jerk reaction where they're like, we're going to stop all of this.
Yeah, can you
Because
imagine
look
if you're,
at this
if you're
bitch here.
right-wing conservative and
I'm
you see
telling
that, you are ready to murder somebody.
Yes.
So I understand where they're coming from 100%.
Right.
So now it becomes, what's kind of funny about that too is like, it becomes this, because the right is always talking about, the left, they don't think through. It's not about especially with policy, it's never about what the outcome is. It's about the intentions behind it, which I agree with. But what the fuck are you guys doing? You're doing the same shit you talk shit about. It's not about the outcomes. It's about the intentions behind it, because you're on that moral high ground. Just the bullshit you complain about all the people on the left. So the hypocrisy is just ridiculous, dude.
People don't know. People treat politics like a sports team.
Yeah,
and they root against
pandemic.
They root against it's been that way, but the pandemic amplified it. Social media has amplified it. Here's how, bro. When these girls go to get an abortion, these facilities they have people that are protesting outside them, conservatives.
Yeah.
Who are holding up pictures of dead fetuses and calling these people whores and all this stuff.
Dude,
it's tragic, bro.
Dude,
it's tragic
when
bro.
I went.
Yeah, it's tragic.
That shit.
It's fucking tragic.
It's
so
jarring,
none of this is pleasurable for anybody involved. I don't think maybe there's 1 or 2 or crazy people out there, 1%, whatever. But for the majority of the population, this is a traumatic motherfucking thing. And it's emotional and it tears at you. And that's why it's so personal to both sides. But what we have to do is talk to each other and figure this out. How do we do this? And I think in the States, you're able to do that in your regions. Do I think that it should be safe? Nationwide, yes. Outside of that, I like the fact, like I said, if this is a blank issue, power to the states for roads. The states decide what happens to all whatever. I just like anything coming back to the people.
Like taking power away from the federal government.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
And that's the baseline of it that no one's talking about.
That's how I think.
And that is
it,
what the constructionalists, like right when, but then you get a guy like Kavanaugh who, he's a fucking douchebag that's responsible for a lot of the Patriot Act nonsense too, which is like why
is he though? Was he?
That's
in
why
office?
I didn't like. No, he was clerk. He was instrumental in writing it.
Yeah,
and that's why I didn't like this douchebag when he was in there. Not because he didn't fucking rape him. It was like I was a dork. Dude,
yeah, but that's the problem. We treat the other politicians now like they're pariahs and lepers and fucking evil.
Meanwhile, they're people.
And they're not only that,
the same thing,
but I think those assholes, for the most part, it's like the WWE,
bro,
where they're talking shit
pageantry.
and then they're having fucking drinks.
Yeah, but it's not the same way it used to be. Now it's like we're contentious.
They're so dirty
all
with the things they say.
Shitheads, dude. It's all just a bunch of actors and like you get the AOCs. Because think about how many people are in Congress and how many are actually really that popular. So now they're the cool kids. Right. And then there's the people like, oh, where the fuck are you from? We don't give a shit. We're not talking to you. So now you're public figures. So now your stardom and your popularity overshadows your fucking duty to be there. You fucking douchebags. You're supposed to be there on behalf of, dude. This just happened in West Virginia. So West Virginia, super Trump, super fucking right leaning, always right. So you're supposed to be representing your consistency, right? So the fucking woman, hold on, what the hell's her name? Carol Miller, she's Republican, so she agreed to these fucking gun laws,
right?
Now. And you are 100% not representing your constituency. That's your only fucking job is to do that. Right. So she's gonna get pushed out, and it's like, what are you doing? You know,
that's what I mean. You have to represent your constituents,
that's
and I
the
think
whole
this is a
point
good
of the
thing.
fucking job, and it's hard to do. You know, but
I get if you really want to see some slick shit. And I mean, people used to be held responsible for their words. And I think that's why you had presidents that would duel with pistols because somebody would say some shit and he'd be like, I'm going to take you outside and try to kill you with this pistol. So I think what's happened is people aren't held responsible for what comes out of their mouth. I'll give you a perfect example. When we were growing up, we had the whole nuclear war threat with Russia we had drills going to the desk and the whole thing, right?
Yeah, which is totally.
So Ronald Reagan goes over to meet with Gorbachev. He's on stage with Gorbachev. Now so I've seen our president say Putin's a killer and he's
he's got no soul and all this shit.
So Ronald Reagan's there with Gorbachev and they're trying to stop a nuclear war. And Ronald Reagan he said, this man next to me, he said, he's a great man. He leads a great nation. And he said, the only difference between our nations, he says, I'll tell it in a story. He says, I was talking to a guy when I came here. He was outside and he goes, I said, what's it like to live here? And he goes, well, is it hard to get a car? And he says, it is. He said, but if I called the other day and he said, I was going to order a car and they said, it'll be available on this day, 10 years from now. And Reagan pauses and and then the guy goes, well, could you make it on the next day? Because the plumber's coming then. And everybody starts laughing because it was a shot against communism and socialism that it's going to take 10 years, not only to get a car, but to get a fucking plumber to your house. And it was taking a shot at the regime and in this thought process, but it wasn't calling the man next to you a killer or he has no soul and insulting these people, because I think being responsible for the words that come out of your mouth is a big part of being an adult. It's a big part. Well, and that's why I didn't
do that anymore.
I like Trump's policies. I didn't like him constantly harassing people. I thought it was funny, but I'm an asshole too. But at the same time, I don't want people doing that kind of shit that are our leaders. I want somebody who's presidential, who makes good decisions from a point of view of like he's a tactician.
Well, you got to be aware of the effects of what's coming out of your mouth. Where it's like, again, for me too, I was never offended by anything. I thought it was hilarious, but we're
right. Well, we're assholes.
We're lunatics.
Yes.
But also, I could totally understand where like you're feeding into the bullshit, and then the media feeds into it, and it's like, dude, shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and just do your job, bro.
That's the problem. Here's the thing: a real leader a real leader, is never going to engage in that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, you're gonna be stoic, bro.
He's going to be stoic and have a plan and executing that plan. And how can I execute this plan better? He's not going to be tweeting about people think that's funny and he's an entertainer. Good. And I voted for him.
Dude.
Here's the thing.
I like stand-up comedy.
I don't want a president who runs his fucking mouth. I want somebody who is stoic, presidential, and gets shit done.
You're not gonna.
And we haven't had one of those in for fucking ever.
You're not gonna get shook by Margaret from Shebogan. I don't know.
Right.
I was like, oh, this bitch is gonna say something to me. It's like, bro, you're the president.
Bro, if I was a president of this country and I had a Twitter, the Twitter would be for one thing, duck. Because there's bombs flying. Like, I'm not going to fucking bother my population with fucking horse shit or fucking. Here's a perfect example. Remember you after the election, you texted and I texted, like if you support something, text this number. You did both.
Yeah.
You were getting fucking all these. I was getting these stories like it's donate now. This is six months after the election. I'm like, what the fuck are you asking for money for?
I still have them. It's like, it's like Nancy Pelosi or on both sides. It's so fucking dramatic. They have Hollywood people watching.
And the sales people are so bad. Who the fuck is in charge of their sales? It's horrible. The emails I get, I'm like, yo, this is the fuck. This is used car salesman.
We should just do a whole podcast about going through because I get them sometimes, and it's like
my favorite is the match. They're going to triple match your donation today.
I don't know if you know what's going on. We really need your money right now.
You're going to fucking donate triple of what I donate.
Who's triple match?
Who the fuck? How do we check? You're just going to say, hey, you give me $10 and I'm going to give myself.
Why not quadruple it?
I'm going to give myself 30, okay? All right. Just give me the $10. Who the fuck who came up with this scheme?
Where's the $30?
Here's the deal. I'm gonna give me $10. I'll give myself 30.
Dude, okay. We have to donate right now, or they're not gonna get the $30 from themselves.
Yeah. What the fuck,
bro? But this is the basic bullshit. Like it's basic shit. Where like my favorite ones are the ones because I got one directly from Nancy Pelosi, and she's like
Nancy Pelosi's marketing team.
It's very critical right now.
Unless
we need your $5 or the whole fucking world's gonna collapse.
Or the whole system's gonna fall down.
My $5, bitch. Like the fuck out of here about it. So some poor asshole's like, honey, we go on the couch. We need change. We need to give it to Nancy Pelosi. She's only got 17 different flavors of cunt flavored fucking vanilla ice cream in her fridge. Like,
here's how we look at it. Here's how we should be looking at the political parties in this country, and this is how we look at it on this show. And this is why everybody's welcome here. You're gonna hear shit that pisses you off, and you agree with it.
Yeah,
but
America,
isn't that better?
You grow up, dude.
We're gonna have differences of opinions, and we can talk about it. You can leave comments.
Crazy talk.
We should check the chat more too. We should get used to that. I don't know if we have anybody watching, but anyway. What the fuck was I going to say? Because it was a good point. God damn.
Get used to.
All right. Here's our show motto. The left wing and the right wing are attached to the same fucking bird, and that bird tells both of those wings what to do. And we are so focused on the wings of this cocksucking bird that we never focus on the bird.
Fact that
it's the bird that's doing everything, and we're all fucking WWE'd out. NWO, New World Order, and they're like, "Nah, it's ECW, motherfucker."
Bro, it literally is the fucking wrestling.
And the bird is just up there like,
wrestling. It's like
keep sending money.
It's same team, offense and defense. Oh, what I'm going to play now? I'm going to play this. I play that, dude. You look at them. They're all. You know what you saw was really in unison when we sent that $40 billion to Ukraine. Every fucking Democrat was in lockstep, maybe 20 Republicans. And out of the 20 is maybe the only 5 fucking Republicans I like. But like everyone's in lockstep on the bullshit because they're all on the cut, dude.
Here's
all that money's going to the Ukraine and it's coming back to our fucking military industrial complex.
It doesn't even do that.
It doesn't even leave,
Here's
right?
how it goes. Here's how that $40 billion went. Okay. We say $40 billion to Ukraine, right? Here's what we did. We took that check. Let's say we write a check I'm going to write a check to Fred. I'm going to say, here's $40 billion. I'm going to hand it to Fred. And right before I hand it to Fred, I say, wait, you're just going to give me this back because you're going to buy these weapons from us. So we're going to buy the weapons and send you the weapons.
Oh, I think it's even worse than that.
So we're just taking our $40 billion and giving it to our defense companies to send the weapons to Ukraine.
Are we really doing
100%.
Dude,
Who do you think they're getting their fucking arms from?
No, but I know they're getting their arms, but I think money goes over to these places, and then Ukraine's one of the
You think
dirtiest
so?
fucking
Oh, maybe.
Yo, because they're so dirty
Maybe.
because everyone's got their hands.
Oh,
everyone's
maybe.
dude. I wish we could follow that money, dude. I wish we could follow the money because I guarantee you,
I'll
dude,
ride right on the stack of
2
it.
years ago,
My prison wallet.
dude,
I'll sit right on that.
what you got
thing.
my commissary?
I'll hold
B?
that 10 grand.
What you got my commissary? B? Yo, but then it's
Some
like,
loose change.
yo, Ukraine 2 years ago, they're like, it's the dirtiest country ever. Now we love Ukraine. There's still a bunch of fucking dirtbags. Half the country is half and half. Half of the Russians, half of the like the supposed neo-Nazis or whatever. Everyone's got their hand out, dude. I guarantee you tons of that money went into the pockets of
Oh
people.
my god.
Tons of that money, dude. That's
There's
what always
probably
happens.
just suitcases of dough.
Dude, fucking Hunter Biden's probably fucking jerked off by 19 different fucking Asians right now smoking crack, dude.
Dude, Hunter Biden's probably over there fucking advising Volodymyr Zelensky.
I gotta
like
tell you,
fucking,
He looks like a fun guy to hang out with.
he does. I'd hire him.
Hey, let's do some paintings, smoke some
You gotta
crack,
turn
dude.
him loose
We're
though.
gonna bang some hookers. It's gonna be great.
I would try to hook Amber Heard up with Hunter Biden and fucking
dude, we should
and
do
just
that.
do it.
Make a reality
just
show
let's go. Let's go.
called Biden.
You know what I
Turd.
mean? And I would
The
fucking be
bird.
like,
We'll call it the bird.
the bird. Call it the bird. To hell with the wings.
The intro is just like white bird shit coming down on Johnny Depp's head.
But you know what I mean? Like people are so it's a sports team, these politics, and people are like, they can't see it. They can't see
Oh, it's
behind
insane, dude.
like
It's
you don't
insane.
get what's happening. They're just
I
dividing
support
the
the
fucking
new thing.
hell
I
out
support
of
the
us.
new thing, dude. It's
They're just
Machiavelli.
dividing.
It's like Machiavelli bullshit. Like clear. Like okay, you have to hate these people. You have to hate these people. You have to hate some dude. And now this some of the crazy shit I see with the abortion stuff is like, and this is probably such a small fraction of people, but it's like one woman was out there pregnant. She's like, this is not a human, and you're pro-abortion. Like, guys, this is not a pro-abortion thing. But you see how it goes back and forth, and people get so emotional that they're like, fuck it, I love abortions. I had 16 abortions today. Even if they're not doing it, it's just like they know it's gonna piss the right off.
Yes, that's
Like,
exactly right.
That's
they're
why
on a
thing.
sports team.
That lady's out there
They're on
pregnant.
a
She's not gonna
sports
cut her
team.
stomach open and throw the baby on the ground, dude. But she's like, I know this is gonna drive Ben Shapiro nuts. So you know what? This isn't a baby. They're kicking, dude. They were kicking plastic fetuses around like
Jesus
soccer ball.
Christ.
And it's like,
It's
I understand.
fucking wild. People are
I
crazy.
understand what you're
Do you
doing.
understand how crazy we have gotten?
Yo,
What the fuck?
We're not well.
Yo, what the fuck are we doing? If I'm at any of this, which I wouldn't be, but
Fetus
if I'm
soccer, fetus
there
soccer.
and that shit is
I'm like,
happening,
all right, guys,
I'm
look.
like, has anybody seen what's happening?
You're
This
kicking
shit looks
babies around?
what the fuck is going on around
I
here?
feel like I can't even make the joke. It
You're
just makes me want to kick babies now.
These people, listen, people need to understand that we are all neighbors. We're connected to each other by
Yo,
houses,
We have way more in common than
way
we
more. And we all have had weird neighbors. Weird
I'm the
fucking
weird
neighbors.
neighbor, for
I'm
sure.
the weird neighbor. But here, so personal, I moved to Key West. It's a very high gay population.
Canned goods.
Very, very, there's a lot of transsexuals. So my next door neighbor was a very large man, transsexual,
And somehow you were the weird neighbor.
who was a singer, and I did a drag show, like the biggest drag show in the Keys, my neighbor. So when I first moved there, it weird for a few days to see my neighbor, who I'm 6'5", he's probably like 6'8", he's
He's
probably
like,
like
yeah.
300 pounds and a blonde
Can I
wig
borrow one of your
and full
bras?
makeup, and he's like, "Hey man," you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but you're
"Is it
being
weird for
cool.
a couple of days?" Yeah, but he's fucking mad cool.
Yeah, of course.
He's mad
dude.
cool.
Of course.
I could have made it real weird and had a problem with it and started an issue with this guy.
Yeah, also, thank
because
God
he was
wasn't
different
like,
than me.
White supremacist
Right.
moved in next door.
Oh, it's probably what he's thinking. I'm over there thinking, look at the training. He's like, look at this
He's
white
like,
supremacist.
This guy's gonna have a Nazi party.
Meanwhile, we're both cool. But if either one of us had tried to play some kind of weird game where we're trying to take a shot at each other or act fucking
Yeah, yeah.
weird,
You wouldn't
now
even
I
know
got
it. Like
now I got an enemy.
now
we're
you don't, now
neighbors.
now you don't have a cool neighbor with a dress on. You have
Right.
a fucking guy who's like calling the cops on
And
you.
now you're doing dumb shit. We've all been in those
and now
neighbors
you're trying
wars.
to push back and forth. And
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's stupid.
You know, like where you get in a neighbor war where motherfucker like starts planting flowers a little bit on your property. I've watched my father go outside after midnight with a bag full of copper nails to nail into a tree he planted because the neighbor was planting flowers around that tree.
Yeah.
So he killed the tree in the middle of the night, like some kind of weird, like fucking
He
covert
sacrificed
op
a tree.
with a bag full of copper nails
Yo,
to fucking
that's
to
some
show
boomer
her,
shit.
to show this bitch. And I was like, why don't you just leave the tree
No.
alone? It's nice she's planting flowers there. He's like, she's not supposed to be on our side of the fucking property.
Yo, great.
I was like, but
now
yo,
we're following the rules?
But yo, the fucking flowers look great.
Now we're following the
Killed the tree. You know what I mean? Like, and we never
Now
got
we're-
along with those fucking neighbors.
Yo, for no reason.
Here's the best
Over
part.
flowers and trees.
Here's the fucking best part of
Yo,
the
you
whole,
get along
the
with your neighbor because
whole
of
story.
flowers and
I used to
trees,
tell him
bro.
all the time, like, why don't you just get along with him? He's like, I don't like these people. And we'd look out the window.
Oh, you like flowers? You like
So-
trees?
And he sold them the lot to build a house. Here's the best part. This hasn't happened in fucking years. I don't know how this happened. But one day, my father's at home, and the next door neighbor gets attacked by a bobcat. Like, leapt on this motherfucker's chest out the bushes, took him to the ground, and he had to break at the bobcat's leg and go inside, get a
Jesus,
gun, and
dude.
shoot it.
Well,
So-
that story took a hard left.
My father's telling me the story, and he goes, tell me why Chucky you go to the ground with this fucking thing. He goes, he's fucking like 5'9". He goes to the ground with a cat. I go, how do you know he did that? He goes, I saw him out the window.
Why'd you
I
help
go,
him?
you fucking watched him get attacked by a fucking bobcat?
He put
He
flowers
goes,
on my
this
property.
fucking guy. Exactly, bro. He was
Yo.
rooting for the cat over nothing, over flowers. Here's my
All of a
point.
sudden, like, how about we just kill all the flowers around the house since you hate flowers so
Right.
much?
Now your neighbor is like, doesn't like
Dude,
abortion and fucking you want one or you're getting one and now there's
Hey,
a
it's
beef.
none of our business. We can all keep it to
Yes,
ourselves.
get along with the fucking neighbors.
No
We
one's
want our neighbors
thrilled
to be
about getting-
safe.
I'm sure no one has ever been. I'm sure maybe someone's been thrilled at getting an abortion, like some brainwashed, like
Yeah, some fucking retard.
some guy, and he's like, so tampons aren't working.
Some fucking psycho who gets who knows. I'm sure there's been a few. But the
dude,
thing,
that
most people
suck-
are
that-
doing it because it's fucking
Bro,
it's traumatic.
It's tribalism, dude. This is the well, it's traumatic to do it, but it's tribalism because it's like you're break it down like so you're mad at flowers. You watch a guy get attacked by something
Oh
because
God,
of flowers,
fucking
dude.
40-pound
And
cat.
how do you not see that? People need
Left
to,
on this motherfucker.
we
Tried to
need-
kill him.
we
True
need-
story.
we need to instead of mail-in ballots, we need to mail out hits of acid. When you touch it, you trip out. We're gonna lose a few, but
You just need to realize that these are people at the end of the day who may have different values.
and
But what's the
they
only
probably
way?
like flowers too.
What's the only way to really to get along and to change people's thought process?
Don't
is
be
through-
a cunt.
It's through conversations and being cool. There's no way. What happens in war is a perfect example. If you attack somebody, chances are they lose a higher civilian population than they lose an army or a combative enemy force. You replenish this enemy's ranks and make them grow because you're killing civilians who then have to retaliate against you, obviously, because you killed their mom. You shouldn't make enemies. We should try to get along. We should try to come to terms peacefully through conversations. Nobody should be calling for violence. Nobody on any side. Violence doesn't solve anything because if you hurt somebody, they have a brother, they have a father, they have friends, they get involved, they hurt somebody. It goes around and around.
Dude,
it never fucking
Here's
stops.
the funny thing. It's like when you're in elementary school, they're like, well, why did you hit that guy for the toy? Maybe you should just make friends with the guy. Like, it's like that basic ass bullshit. But it's tribalism what's happened. So now it's like, that motherfucker, well, those are my flowers. And that now you forget what you're arguing about. And your dad's out there watching a guy get mauled by a cat because he's like hates flowers. What the
Fucking
fuck, bro?
Covert
I'm
up.
telling you right now.
Fucking bag
if
full
you
of
take-
1-inch copper nails. I was like, why aren't the nails longer? Like, that's a bad plan. Like, you get some bigger fucking nails. This dude had like walk off bag full of
Stop
tacks.
acting like a pussy, pal.
Yeah, you're bag full of tacks.
And it's like, so now at the end of the day, it's like, if you take a heroic dose of hallucinogenics and you still do that, we probably should stop making that model. You gotta go, buddy.
He was probably on acid when he went out there with the tacks.
Fucking psychopath.
Who knows? But listen, we have to be nicer to each other. We do. It's the only
Dude,
way through
it's
this.
So much easier to just not be a cunt to people and be like, hey, let's fucking talk about this. Like, I'm not really
is.
like, why would you be mad at someone for being like your neighbor, like transsexual? Dude, so they're people, dude.
yes.
And it's like, I like to wear dresses. Great. You know, I like to do some weird shit too, but I'm gonna keep it in the house.
Yeah, dude. It's the same thing. It's always the sports things. It's like I had friends that were so diehard sports fans. We would go to like a Giants game when they were playing the Broncos,
And they want to
and my friends would get in fist fights with anybody with the team they didn't like. I'm like, what are you doing?
What
You don't play for this fucking team.
It's like gangs.
Like, yo, you do not play for the Denver Broncos.
Also,
Why are you
it's
fighting people?
Sports, dude. Like,
What
dude,
the
you go
fuck
to
are you
Europe,
doing?
bro? When I went over to the fucking Chelsea when we were in London, and it was Chelsea and Manchester United. It
must
was
be
just like
nuts.
the big. So I
Bonkers.
bought a fucking. I bought a Jersey, and we went in because I wasn't paying $500 because I don't give a shit about sports. But I'm like, we're gonna get fucked up in the bar. So I'm going around there, and this guy's like, "Come here, mate. I know you're American. And you're trying to, I'm like, I don't know anything about sports." He's like, "This is a bad idea. I'm just telling you, just don't do it in the future." I'm like, "Am I?" Everyone's very polite here.
Big Target.
The Chelsea smile or some shit because like
Big Target.
because they put a credit card in your face. But I'm like, everyone's being mad polite, but he was like not even being a dick. But I'm like, all right, cool. Like I don't mean it that. He's like, I know you don't mean it that way, but like it's a little serious here. And I'm like, I don't even know about fucking any sports in our country, dude.
I gotta tell you, bro.
I just wanted to fit in and get drunk with a bunch of Brits,
Absolutely,
dude. It was fun as
Here's
hell.
the thing: I am not getting paid to have some kind of combative experience in the fucking stands. Like I don't like. There's maybe Michigan football. If I was at a Michigan game and they were playing fucking Ohio State, I might throw a few elbows just because. But that's, that's part of it. But I'm not going to take that into politics. Do you know what I mean?
Well, or to the,
like, this is our country.
We're taking it to the garden, bitches.
Yeah, this is our country. What the fuck are we doing?
Well, dude, and here's where, like, here's the shit I like when Ben Shapiro says, he's like, listen, if we don't have a baseline agreement upon certain principles, we're not even a country anymore. Even Tim Dillon was talking about that. He's like, America's not even America right now. Well, we're all over the place because we don't have any uniting principles anymore because no one's teaching anyone about that shit. It's like, dude, we're supposed to be a republic, right? So regardless of anything, which is where I think there could be a good argument for the abortions under the Constitution, is like you have unalienable rights, regardless if it's 51%. So it's not a democracy. So, if it's like if you're stuck with something, you can't get a medical procedure. Isn't that kind of infringing upon your rights at that point? Same thing with the gun control shit. Like, dude, we're supposed to be able to have guns. You should be responsible for them, but that shit is not in there for hunting, motherfucker.
Right?
Because it's there because it's 2022. So we're like, oh, what are we gonna do against the government? Like, well, I tell you what, we're not gonna do is have a land war in America because good luck going into the middle of the country. You're in big trouble.
Going anywhere.
We got rednecks, motherfucker.
Anywhere, bro. People are armed to the teeth, bro, and they're full of rage.
Yeah,
full of rage.
Which is not how it's supposed to be, dude. Like, you're supposed to be armed as a responsible person and be like, fuck around and find out, bro.
I wonder if we're becoming more like America once was, where we had very different states.
Where's that Boston tea? Goddamn it.
We have very
throw it in the goddamn ocean.
Well, we have very different states. People went to these areas and they had different values in these areas and they created different laws.
But dude, that's how it's supposed to. Dude, Russell Brand just did a thing. He breaks it down perfectly. He goes, listen, if you want to have abortions and that's your right, but don't infringe upon someone else about it. So you can come over here with the people that wants to have abortions and you don't want to have abortions. That's how it should be. But it's not like that anymore. It's like now we have the right infringing upon, like, you have to do what we say, but really the states thing coming back, it brought it back to that. But now it's been so long since we've done that. People who live in those states are like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know about this.
Right.
So now it's like ripping the Band-Aid off. It's like in my opinion, that part of it is good because, like you said, I like that it's going back to the states. Yes. Fuck the federal government. These fuck up everything. Yeah. Dude. Like that. Yeah. What has the federal government done that was good so far? They fucked up the pandemic. Yeah. They fucked up giving people.
They rob from all 50 states is what they do. And they rob us blind.
Who's the guy who's the dude on Shark Tank that owns sports teams? He's a Democrat.
Mark
billionaire.
Cuban.
Mark Cuban was like, listen, he goes, it's too late now, but what we should have done is gone to all the businesses and said, what is your payroll? We're going to give you directly your payroll to keep everyone employed and keep it moving. Other countries did that, and that would have been the best fucking option because then nothing changes. That's where you funnel the money into. But he's like, it's too late now. But what did we do? We did this dumb shit. 11% of small businesses got these loans. Most of them that got it, I would say 6% of them that got it didn't need it, but they know how to fill out paperwork, All the people I know that didn't get that shit, like Pep that owned the place in Hartford, he's just a fucking hustler, bro. He didn't even have a bank account, and his restaurant went out of business. You know who needed it? Him. He needed it more than like Harvard or Yale that got, $500,000 just because the money's available. It's like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
I think the problem is we approach things from a point of bullshit, and that point of fucking bullshit can be contested. So we could say, like a conservative can say, that's not protected under the Constitution, and then people could say, well, it should be, or it is if you read it this way.
But we're the people who know how to interpret the
Constitution. That's an argument. But what we should be saying is, this is a reasonable thing to keep women safe.
Yes, dude.
And we
of
have to
course.
maintain this,
And it's a reality.
regardless of what the any paper says. Like this, we have to keep people safe, which is what we want to do, right? There's, I know there's reality, I know there's nothing written down somewhere that says anything about it, but let's be adults.
Reasonable.
Let's just be adults. And I know some people are going to hate it, and I know some people are going to abuse it. But at the same time, we need to take care of the people.
Let's have that fucking discussion, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd rather make 1,000 mistakes and have to get the one thing right.
Yes. Dude.
You know what I mean?
But it's so polarized now. It's so polarized that everyone's going back and forth where it's like, okay, you're into this. Like now, what's the guy's name? Merrill. Who's the head, the guy under who's the head lawyer for the country right now? Merrill something.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
I'll think of
so
it.
now they're saying we're gonna disregard the fucking.
That's not cool either.
But dude,
you're fucking the whole thing up.
The thing collapses.
I know.
Someone's got to come in. There's no normal human beings to come in and go, all right, guys, listen. Shit's clearly getting out of control unless we want to lose the whole thing and it collapses, because we can't be like the Balkans, dude. It's not going to work.
No.
I know Michael Malice likes to be, we're going to have a separate.
Bro, I know.
Yo, so Texas is its own place. They're already trying to pull out. They didn't. Now they're not saying. They're saying, okay, well, Joe Biden's not a legal president. So what are you just going to be Texas in the middle of the country by yourself? You got your own military. How does that work? Now we have to have like trades back and forth. Dude, that shit is not going to fucking work. No. It's going to drag down the whole country, and we're all going to speak in Mandarin in 10 years.
The problem is, one of the problems is our media is not honest. Our politicians are not honest.
They're all fucking full of shit.
And they're trying to get reelected, so they're trying to feed their base, and they're making this so bad instead of being honest. So the left right now is screaming, the court's illegitimate. These people are illegitimate. We're going to do it our way. And meanwhile, the right is like, you're going to say the Supreme Court's fucking illegitimate, right? And the right's already mad about other shit. Now the left doing that. It's not productive.
Well, it's a recipe for a collapse.
It's not productive. It's fucking crazy. What needs to be said is to somebody to step forward and be honest with the people who are dumb. Most of our population overall are fucking dumb, me included. We need to hear shit.
We don't know. We're being being fed the wrong information. So think about how impossible it is for us. Like, I have very rarely trust sources of information now, and I don't have the time to fucking go. I'm not an investigative journalism. You guys are supposed to be doing that shit, you know?
Yeah, and it's all they're pumping this propaganda for their side, I think they're so so micro focused on this election and getting some kind of power in the House and in the Congress,
so they can do nothing.
Right, but they want that control. Meanwhile, everything is falling apart. They may get. It doesn't matter who's going to be in charge of the fucking mess.
They're using the fringe left and right people. They're useful idiots on both sides.
Dude, when I hear this, and when somebody says this out loud, they should know. You know that they're lying, and you know that they know that they're lying, and
they are on a moral high ground,
bro. When they say this, the gas prices are Putin's fault. Every time they say that, when I know that you closed down all of these pipelines and leases and all of this stuff, and you said you were going to do that, and you're doing exactly what you said you were going to do, and now we have gas prices, but you blame it on somebody else, it's fucking insulting. You remind me of a teacher that's just won't fucking stop lying. Like, I would ask math teachers, why is this important? When am I going to get to use this? And they would say, well, one day, blah, blah, blah.
One day
Nobody said to me, hey, look, probably fucking never, bro. Here's the deal, though. You got to pass this to get to the other shit.
Yeah. Just tell me what the fucking rules
are. Let's be fucking real about this shit. Why are we fucking lying?
I know what a rhombus is, but I have no idea about how credit works.
I know. So crazy. Why the fuck you guys got to lie about everything and make it so hard? The thing.
We say, like, people, overall humanity right now, as stupid as a lot of the people we think a lot of the people are, because we have a little bit of bias as well. But it's like people are overall more intelligent, but it's the problem is the information. So we're being lied to. Most people in this country know goddamn well that fucking Joe Biden's lying when it's like, oh, best economy. We're putting all these fucking people about. Yeah, you know what? It's not the best economy, and we're definitely headed for this shit because I'm paying $5.50 a gallon for gas, and my fucking kid's starving, dude. Like, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck if it's right or left. You know, how crazy is this? Over 1 million people have switched from Democratic to Republican in the last 8 months. Like, dude.
Yeah, but this is a problem.
But I don't think that's good either, dude.
It's the wings, bro. The bird. It's the fucking bird. We're not watching the bird. We're watching the wings. We want our wing to be in charge. We want our wing to make us feel safe.
I honestly don't think I've ever heard the right wing and left wing referred to as a bird, dude. How is that? How are you the
fucking
first guy?
Bird is in the middle.
How are you the first guy?
Because it's right. I keep hearing it. I kept hearing it. They're like the right wing, the left wing, the right wing. I'm like, what's with these wings? How the fuck are we labeling people into a wing? Like, where did that come from? I'm like, is it a bird? And then I'm like, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It probably is. The bird is what matters.
No one's ever did that. We got to look it up. Dude. Is anyone referred to as a bird? It's the dumbest thing ever. Seth.
No, I mean, it's a wing.
He likes guns and birds.
It's a wing. I was like, what are these wings we're talking about?
Dude,
why are they wings?
Right wing, an airplane. I'm like, yeah, there's no airplanes around when the fucking
Are we flying?
Started. We're flying around in a fucking bird, and fucking all the founding fathers are stuffed up its ass.
Here's the best part. Nobody remembers. Okay, so
here's the best part.
I remember this, and I'm fucking stupid. I wasn't
you just
even
came up with the best analogy for America ever.
I don't even like. Well, I'll say when I was younger, I could tell you who the presidents were, but here's what happened. I remember when Hillary Clinton got the Democratic election and it was against Trump. I was living in Hawaii, and I remember saying this.
You're like that bitch.
There is no way in hell that anybody that he could be anybody other than her.
Anybody.
I was like, this is the only person that he can be.
The biggest loser.
You sandbagged, and now you got this. And here's why.
Dude, I would have voted for Bernie Sanders.
Of course.
How about that shit?
The government has lied and mistreated and made people untrusted so long that half of the country voted for a fucking game show host who has some money because they wanted him to go in and do what he did. Wreck and cause commotion and fucking blah, blah. The problem is the other half of the country was really insulted by the shit. They didn't view it as he was taking a shot at the establishment. They viewed it as he was shitting on them. So then it started this whole thing. Then we get fucking Sleepy Joe at the wheel, who God knows what the fuck is happening.
Okay.
We're hanging on by a fucking cunt hair as a world.
He's like, hey, do you see him go on TV? He's like, yeah, you turn TV on, you never see any mixed couples on here. I'm like, dude, what are you in 1940, bro? There's no mixed couples on TV. They're fucking Joe Biden, or shall we call you the other word?
Dude,
Joe
did
Biden?
you look at these fucking
this
G7 summit lineup of clowns?
No,
there wasn't a dude in that fucking lineup or a woman.
Jim Crow, that's his AKA.
It's fucking wild, bro. And meanwhile, the other side has fucking Ramzan Kadyrov, who hangs out with Mike Tyson doing blow and putting social media posts for his lost house.
Fuck with that guy before I
in
fuck
full
with Joe
battle
Biden.
armor. He's a goddamn gangster. Meanwhile, we got the geriatric crew on the fucking West that are the only person I had respect for was the Japanese dude, and he looking around like, I don't know who the fuck these people are. He looked like he walked into a convalescent home and somebody shit in their hand. Like this dude was looking around for who pooped. He was like, I don't know how I'm here.
Well, you're like, hey, good news. We got a guy who hangs out with Tyson, does blow, and he's in battle armor. So
yeah, that's
like,
fucking Putin's boy. Like, yo, at some point, we need some fucking leaders around this place. We can't have dipshit Justin Trudeau and that fucking idiot Boris Johnson with his fucking hair. Why don't we get a goddamn dude in a Spartan helmet with a fucking bottle of whiskey on the desk with his shirt off, masturbating? He's like, I'll fucking dare you to go into fucking Ukraine. I fucking dare you to do
everything
it.
except the last part.
Right, yeah, not that. Not that.
But
we need somebody. He could get elected to a state. That's why. Return it to the states.
I'll vote for that masturbating fucking booze hag.
He's playing pin the tail on the donkey with lawn jarts.
Yeah, he's like, also I shit my pants again.
Go over there, stand against walls. Spread ass cheeks.
Dude, did you see the fucking
throw a javelin?
Did you see the list of what Biden had to do? It's like, you in all capitals say this and you talk that. I'm like, is this real life, dude? Day 4, I'll do heroin and cocaine for 4 days and go do a press conference and knock it out of the park. And that guy just sucks, dude.
Here's the other thing too. All this international politics and posturing. If there was going to be a ground war in Europe, and I believe there was going to be a ground war in Europe.
There is right now.
And their intelligence had said, hey, there's going to be a ground war in Europe. I would have got my ass on a fucking airplane, went to Russia and had a conversation and tried to have.
That's what Trump would have done, dude. That's
that's what a leader does. And I'm not going over there and insult you.
No.
And during the process of your invasion, I'm not going to spurn on with insults, that are going to get people maybe fucking
because
killed.
that kind of rhetoric creates like you can't.
Bro, you don't want to get people hurt. Our goal should be not to hurt people.
That's
so when
right.
you're calling people soulless and fucking, what does that do?
Yo, he's like,
That's a bad tactic.
I tell you what.
You think Putin's like, oh, I'm afraid of Biden. His words hurt me.
Putin's gonna listen to me, like,
yeah,
bro.
His words hurt.
Bro, you could be punch assassinated right now.
Right.
I could punch my fucking 11-year-old nephew could punch Joe Biden and kill him, dude. You just got punch assassinated by an 11-year-old with purple hair, dude. Goodbye.
I just wonder the generals and the leaders of like the ancient world who had these.
Oh, they would come back and be like, oh, well, I guess
Can you imagine?
all the actors took over.
Like, yo, who is fucking telling you to do? Like, it's just bad tactics. Even if you feel that way about somebody, is it just smart to just go around just shooting your mouth off about fucking, it's the same thing. Keep fucking with your neighbor. Keep fucking with him. Keep going over to going to your spotlights on in the back fucking porch. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Maybe
Keep pissing him off.
Maybe I don't like flowers.
Yeah. And then he's going to have 3 spotlights. And he's going to be out there with a fucking American flag set of underwear like a thong,
Dude,
shooting fireworks out of his asshole just to piss you off.
That's
now
what
you
I'm
got
doing.
a thing.
That's what I'm doing.
Now, then you're building the fence and he's building the higher
Meanwhile,
fence.
I'm like, why don't you come over and bullshit fireworks? Not
Yeah.
about our assholes.
You could have fucking been hanging with him like I was hanging with the tranny.
Dude, Petty Crocker. Everyone turns into Petty Crocker.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy, too. Coming out of our mouths because we're fucking lunatics, like knee-jerk reaction idiots. But now that we're adults,
You know what, though?
we start trying to be
I'm-
reasonable.
I'm an asshole, but I'm also very respectful of other people.
yeah,
like,
I don't
I-
give a fuck what anyone's doing.
Joe, I'm not going to come fuck with you. I'd rather have you have a good day than me even, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fuck
figure
with
out
you.
why
If you're not
why
fucking,
we're on the same side as opposed to why we're in like for anyone.
Right. If you're not trying to take advantage of me, if you're not trying to do me harm or
Yeah.
anybody in my family and stuff like that, I
That's
wish
it.
the best for you.
Other than that, that's it.
That's it. I'm hoping the best. I don't give a fuck who you fuck.
And if you do try to take advantage of me, I'm just gonna probably just try to separate myself from you, so it doesn't turn into a fucking thing, which is much easier to do. Period. You know?
Right.
Dude, I was talking to my boy, like this Muslim kid I'm friends with. He's like the nicest guy, and he was in West Hartford, and someone bumped into him, and he was like, "Yeah, sorry," and the kid bumped him again. And he goes, he's like, "Yo, let's go outside, dude. I'm fuck tired of bumping into me." Yo, someone whipped a bottle at his head and fucking slashed his eye open. That wasn't even involved in the shit. And I'm like, you see how quickly things can escalate? The guy wasn't even involved in the fight. He was just drunk and one. And almost cut his dude. It cut around his eye.
You can lose,
and he's like literally one of the nicest people you ever want to meet.
Second. In a split second. Here's the thing, and I'm telling you this as if you're ever in a situation where you can get out of it, and by any means,
which is 99.9%.
Most of the time, by being polite and respectful, you even if somebody's talking shit to you. Because here, I'll give you a good example.
You can de-escalate.
I wonder, somebody one time in a bar was mouthing off, calling me all kinds of names. I decided I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave because I have nothing to prove. I'm walking out the door and he jumped in front of me. He called me every name in the book. As soon as he jumped in front of me, I hit him. He cried in court for 2 years because I detached his retina, broke his orbital bone. But if you saw this guy at the bar compared to in court, that I had to spend 2 years of my life with this guy because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. But now I'm involved in his life for 2 fucking years.
Yeah, all over a thing you could have walked away from.
I really tried.
Well, yeah, I know, but
at
I'm
that
just
point,
saying, like,
you know what I mean? You got
most of the time you can
most
walk
of the time, but even in the situations where you're completely in the right, you're trying to walk
matter
away.
Who's in the right. It's what's going to be better for you.
Exactly.
Because like,
your best bet is you want to go home and have a good life.
I heard
That's the best
advice from somebody who's like, if you're young, never leave the bar when it closes. Always leave before it closes because that's when 99% of the problems happen. And it's so easy if you're drunk. Oh, you bump into this. Oh, why you looking at my girl? Why are you doing this? And it just escalates so quickly. And then there's people jumping in and fighting. They don't even know what the fucking fight's about, dude. They're just angry and drunk and they just want to get in the fight. And then, oh shit, I just killed a guy because I punched him in the face and he hit his head on the fucking ground, which has happened multiple times.
It's quick. It's quick in street fights. Bad shit can happen. It's not sanctioned. There's no referee.
And then you got the guy who's like, I'm not even going to talk shit to you. I'm just going to fucking knock your head off, dude. It could be a guy my size that could fuck you up that's a boxer if you're not familiar with fighting. And you're like, dude, you got to just walk away from that shit.
Absolutely.
Or, because
you know why? Here's why. All the days I had to go to court for all the shit that I used to do, nobody who was with me at the bar went to court with me.
No.
Nobody was there waiting for me when I would get out of court.
Care that you're keeping
nobody, right. Nobody cares except in that moment. Right now at my age, if I saw somebody getting shit talked to him, he said, "Excuse me," and jumped out a window and ran to his car and drove away, I'd be like,
Good move.
fucking A, man. Like
Bro,
you
Jocko
got
Willink says that. He goes, you know
Here's
what
it-
I'll do? I will run. That guy's a fucking killer. He goes,
yeah,
until
it
you
has
put
the-
your hands on me, that's a different story.
because
I will run away from guys smaller than me.
Right.
Run, literally tail at like no one I can kill because I don't want that fucking kind of heat in my life.
right. If you're by yourself, most situations you can just get the fuck out of there. If you're with your wife and your kids and that kind of thing, it's a little different because you have to protect them.
I mean, there's always
and you
situations you can't
exactly.
talk your way out of, but
Exactly.
I feel like those are few and far between if you just can go hold yourself. And this is what I think, bro. I honestly think that they should teach. You should do meditating in high school, and you should also do like some sort of like ground combat shit, so that you're okay with yourself. So you know how you know like you can handle yourself, so you're less apt to get into a fight over emotions.
Yeah, I think having somebody who's been through a lot in life and coming in and even talking to kids like as a part of a class, not even teaching like self-defense.
No,
but just
teaching like, hey, this is
hey,
how
this
it
is
could go really bad.
this is real life outside of school. This is what happens
Yeah,
outside of
doesn't
school.
care about that.
Like, you know what I mean? Like this is what you want to avoid. This is how to get out of these situations without ending up in court for 2 years and you don't have
no one
anything to prove
tells
because
kids that,
nobody
like,
cares.
when you're a kid, like you don't realize, like, because you've been to court. Dude, I got arrested a bunch when I was younger. Stupid shit. And the reality of when you go to court, you're like, fuck, dude, I could really be in big trouble right now for doing some stupid fucking shit.
You know what? Nobody ever told me that after high school, none of this shit matters. Like,
oh yeah, the actual like how high school works. Because
no, like once you get out of here, you probably never see any of these people or care again.
yeah, but that's your world.
But
when
that's
you're
your
younger.
world as a kid, and you think
But
that
no,
you
it's
have
like,
to,
buddy,
yeah.
just
You
keep
need
it moving.
They need
You're
to
gonna
have
be
a guy
fine, dude.
who's been like had a life and he's a teacher, and that's all he does is teach. Like, this is life.
Hey guys,
And
yeah. Like it matters. Like do as well as you can, but all these social situations don't matter for shit,
Dude, you could be a kid in high school, never have a friend, and if you were truly comfortable with that, and you were just doing your own thing, and you could have one of the best lives ever.
Yeah,
Your-
but
the amount
yeah.
of friends you have when you're younger doesn't determine your worth as
You
a
could
person.
just be a pariah and like,
Right.
and no one's paying attention to you or whatever. But
And
like,
there's
if you-
nothing
if-
wrong
if
with
you're
that.
comfortable with that.
Yes.
Like because sometimes you're a dork. Like sometimes you're this, sometimes you're an outcast or whatever.
And sometimes you're just figuring your way out and you don't know.
Most of the time, because like you see the people.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But nobody tells these kids. Nobody told me.
No,
hey,
because you
hey,
think
listen,
it's like the end all be all.
when you graduate on this day, you will none of all of this disappears like a fucking magic trick. All of it goes away.
No, now they're making it seem like it's more important than it actually is.
Yeah.
You know, isn't
Yeah.
that fucking crazy? Like, dude, high school. Think about dude. I was like 110 pounds in high school. I'm like, I'm probably never gonna get laid, but I'm comfortable with it. No, but not really.
I would
And
say
then you
I
get
look
out,
exactly the same.
and then you're like, all
to
right.
the pound. Like, well, I'm fine. Other than
Yeah.
some gray hair, this is it. And tattoos, I'm the same.
got
I look
help.
exactly the same.
I got pubic hair now.
But I mean, if any kids ever stumble across this podcast, man, understand
Pubic
that
hair is not
being-
important.
being fucking who you are and being different is cool. And then and when all of these social situations, high school, college, when you're forced to go to that kind of stuff and attend class and have these kind of people in
It's
your
all
life,
horse shit.
yeah, it all goes away.
It's all
It-
fugazi.
it all goes away. Yeah, and it's something you shouldn't put that much.
Hey, you
weight
know,
on.
hey, you never want to fucking hit peak in 16 at 16 because then you're the guy in the VFW with your letter jacket on, balding at 34, talking about four touchdowns
Al
at Polk
Bundy.
High.
Al Bundy.
I got 4 touchdowns. Now you're an alcoholic and your wife is fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking terrible.
Fucking A.
Yeah, dude, everything's fucking awesome.
Well, so
it is awesome though. I think we're gonna come out of it, dude.
I think this may be-
I'm white pilled.
I think that this may be a good thing. I know it sucks for people, and I want people to be safe. But like I said, if it's an issue, if you took away the emotional attachment to what's been turned back to the States, and it was just something, it's
No
good.
one's taught that anymore. I wonder if we could-
Nobody, most people don't even know that what's happened.
but I wonder
They
if we
don't know
could
what's happened.
figure out,
They
dude.
think abortion is banned.
But
So a lot of
dude,
people,
I-
they don't
people can't even
understand.
the definition of abortion, and there's different definitions of like, and it's like now we're at a point where now it's just like, oh, it's not bathed, this and that. It's like, dude, this is not how it's supposed to be. Dude.
What
It's
we
not.
need to start doing.
safe and it's supposed to be like safe and rare is what the abortion thing
Yes.
is supposed to be. You know?
We need people. I know this is asking for Santa Claus to be real and the Easter Bunny to be hot.
They're not real.
And when
The Easter Bunny's got huge tits.
when a tooth fairy comes in, she gives me a fucking reach around. You know what I
it's
mean?
better than $5, bitch.
Yeah. So this is about as hopeful as that. That we need some politicians that are honest, and we need some news outlets. Even more importantly, we need some news outlets that are not pushing for candidates to be reelected, but to push for the goddamn truth, because it's a great business model.
That is the definition of journalism. This is why our new shit's going to be good, because it's like the new business model with all these places of like the Tim Pools, they got it right. It's the business model is telling the truth. What the fuck is easier than that? Hey, here's a thing over here. We're just going to tell you what happened, and you do with it what you want. Like, it's literally the simplest thing ever, bro. It's the simplest thing ever, dude.
It's the simplest thing ever to just be honest about how you feel about things.
Be a cunt.
And be honest about what's happening. So
don't
just
be offended by other people's opinions.
Put the fucking information out there, and don't put all these goddamn twists and have the guy who's running for re-election right behind it. I know that's probably looks good, and it's part of the, you think it's part of the process, but we're all tired of that shit. We just want the fucking facts.
Dude, if you can Google this and pull it up, it's the funniest thing ever. We should play it. Mr. Show in I think it was in 1996 on HBO with Bob Odenkirk and what the fuck is his name? And they did a like a mock parody of political campaigns, and it just got so deep. He's like, do you know this guy like diddles dogs and shit? And it's like, dude, it was so accurate to what actually goes on, and that's what happens. It switches. It's like, boom, the music gets dark, and then they do black and white. This is literally what they do for fucking political campaigns. So, like, did you know that this guy fucks gerbils or something?
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, dude.
It's just fucking
crazy talk.
This is nuts.
I'm not voting for that guy. He fucks gerbils, dude.
I think that
I'll vote for the gerbil fucker.
I think it's gone too far. I think because of
it went too far years ago.
Most people, when we were younger, we didn't care about the news. Like our parents watch the news, but even if you watch our local news, still, if you turn on local news, which most people don't watch, there's not much of a propaganda bias.
A squirrel water skiing,
but there's not much propaganda. It's like kind of the weather. This dude got hit by a car on a skateboard. This fucker over here, like whatever. It's local news.
Someone got robbed.
Right. But it's not, I don't get the same tinge of political, hey, this is our flag, this is our side, this is our color, we're waving. You know what I mean? I don't get that from my local news. So maybe the real answer is to just watch or care about your local politics, your local news, because these assholes in Washington are all the same.
Because
they're all the same.
You know what's funny too is like even like because I watch Tim Pool shit. Can't watch the whole goddamn podcast because it's too long. And I'm like, Ian, shut the fuck up. But it's like, yo, even him, like, so he does the one, because he started off and it was only like him doing like 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 times a day. He was going over articles. But now it's your bias as like a liberal that doesn't have a home right now, who's not really conservative, but like all of your opinions on top of it. I mean, because they do articles though, so they actually have like generally journalists. He's like, we can't even find any journalists, but it's like, hey, here's a thing that happened. We're going to tell you about the thing, and then here's the facts, and then you make about it what you want. Like that is journalism, dude. How the fuck did we lose that? Because what the fuck is easier than that?
And you know what? There's the market for it is there. Because that's all people really want. Does anybody really want to be lied to and said bullshit?
You can't take the truth, remember?
Yeah, dude, nobody wants to be lied to. How many people out there like being lied to? Like, you just like it. You know what I mean? Like, don't you want the truth? Don't you just want the fucking truth? No one even knows what
the truth is anymore. There's my truth.
Yeah, that's the best. That's
my
your
favorite. Truth? Okay, you
that's
narcissistic.
My fucking favorite.
Fuck. Oh, that's your truth? That's your interpretation of what the fuck was going on. That's not the truth, you fucking loser.
And you know why? You shouldn't allow that to happen, because here's why.
Because it's not reality.
Because if you let me have my truth, it's fucking gonna be fucked up,
it's gonna
dude.
Be not nice.
I have a fucked up truth. But you know why?
That's your truth.
My
Don't
truth.
Let anyone take it away from
my truth is fucking weird. And,
you know why?
Fucking
because
diabolical.
We're whacked out of our minds.
Yeah,
my truth
and
is
taboo.
Like, I'm like, shit up.
You know what I mean?
I think we should have prostitutes at CVS. Dude.
Right.
That's my truth.
Absolutely. So I don't think we should let people like me have a truth. I think we should have
a truth. It's the wrong word.
We should have the truth.
Yeah, that's what the truth is.
The truth. My truth. You should know, but you shouldn't be subjected to it.
It's not a real thing. It's like a fucking, it's like a pronoun that we made up.
I'm defending the world from my truth.
ShamWow.
Because I'd rather deal with the truth because
Yeah,
it's
truth.
just it's safer.
What it is your interpretation of the world. It's not your truth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. My interpretation of the
not
world
their
is
truth
it's
anyway.
not fucking round. We
I'm
never went to the moon. And does anybody, you know what I mean? Like that's what we're gonna get into on the fucking show.
How is the flag
Amber
waving?
Heard saved the
How is the
fucking
flag
world.
waving?
Nobody believes me about Amber Heard saved the world. I was at a party the other day and I pitched that fucking theory, and you
Heard
could
master
see
flex. You're
you-
right. You're right, dude.
you could see the level of hatred.
Oh, because everyone hates Amber Heard. I'm not
Right.
a big fan, but
and then here I come going, she saved the world, and then trying to fucking explain that. And
she's
listen,
an American hero.
I had
Amber Heard is an American hero.
I'm telling you, she deserves a fucking goddamn Congressional
They're
Medal of Honor.
narcissistic pussy.
Yep, and it needs to be pinned to her taint
Oh, dude, how great would that be?
like a mud flap. When she shits, the metal just goes,
Her flaps.
you know, and it stamps the fucking poop with the metal. Dude. Okay, since this is a new podcast, really quick, I believe
Poop
Amber Heard
stamps,
saved the
poop
world
stamps.
when she shit on that fucking bed on purpose, because if she
And
didn't,
it took all the attention.
yeah, we were going to nuclear war because all the news networks were like war, and then all of a
And they're
sudden,
like, hold
hot
on.
blonde girl shits on Johnny Depp's fucking bed on purpose.
Did
we were like, we
she
don't
really
care.
shit? Did she
We-
think
yeah.
it's the dog? That's what we changed.
Yeah,
We were like,
absolutely.
we're gonna nuke everyone.
Yeah.
We're like, hold on, did the dog
Yeah,
shit?
I told you there was dudes in Ukraine in a fucking foxhole going, she shit in fucking bed.
100%.
While artillery shells are whistling in. The world was like, what happened? And that saved us from a nuclear
What are
war.
you doing? Put your phone down. Amber Heard shit in the bed. We're being shelled right now.
Right now, Fred and I are probably doing this podcast from the back of a C-130 with a door dropping as the light turns green.
Look
And
at
they're
it.
like, get out. You with the rifle, you with the ammunition. When
like,
he
hold on.
dies, you grab the rifle.
Can we get a mulligan? Postpone for a half hour. Amber Heard.
How come we
shit
don't
in the
have
bed.
ammo? We gave it all to Ukraine.
We gave it to Amber Heard's dog. That's why the poops are so big.
I'm telling you, bro, we give Amber Heard the mission. Putin's gone. You fucking airdrop her
Oh,
over
dude,
Moscow.
that's what we should do. We should take
Oh,
these
right over
cunts.
there.
We should take her and we should take Will
Ghislaine
Smith.
Maxwell,
Oh, we'll just sick 'em
Jada
on everyone.
Pinkett, bro.
Jada
Airdrop them
Pinkett,
in.
Go over and
Bro.
demasculate fucking Putin.
Yeah.
Go over there and tell him he's a piece of shit.
Emasculate him. Did you know that I didn't know what emasculate meant? I thought that meant when you were like
I just
your
said
wife would talk a lot of
demasculate. I
shit
just
to you.
made up a word.
But you know what? Do you know what emasculate means? It means like take your testicles off, like for real. I
Yeah.
thought it meant like your wife would just talk a lot of shit to you and you would take it.
Oh, that really actually means
yeah.
removing
You know
your
how I knew
testicles?
about this? So I watched it.
Because your boys' nuts are gone?
Probably mine might be. I think they're just. I think it's just a swollen, fucking coagulated ball.
Yeah, they're just
Just
laid back.
one.
They're just laid back in the cut.
red hot too.
Like
Anyway.
I wish a motherfucker would.
So I learned what emasculated meant because I was watching River Monsters one day, and the pitch of the show was like that serious voice. They were like, "We're on the hunt for the fish that emasculated this local fisherman."
I'm
I'm
like,
What does the fish pop up out of the water and be like, "You
talk
fucking
bad?
suck at fishing"?
Loser, you're not allowed to go to golfing today.
I'm like, "You got a small dick. You're too fat. You don't make enough money." I'm like,
Yo,
"I don't
it actually
understand."
means remove your
So,
testicles.
so listen what happened. So this guy goes on a hunt for the guy who's been emasculated by the fish. So now I'm hooked because I got to see who the dude is that get emasculated.
you got your nuts bit off. by
So
a
they
fish?
tracked this Fred. They tracked this guy down to this like hut, and of course he's sitting outside the hut. And he looked sad. So
Why? Because he's got no nuts.
he got no nut. So here's what happened. These fucking crazy
Where
guys.
are my nuts?
I think they were in India somewhere. They would wear these skirts and jump in the water. It's like a tradition, and they would grab the nets. But they would catch these pufferfish and throw them away because they weren't any good. Well, now the pufferfish population is huge, and they're jumping in the water with skirts that form like a funnel
Oh.
and catch the pufferfish, which has a fucking beak on it that'll take your fucking nut off. Bro, there's guys in the village that have a scar down their eye. Fucking
they're
thing tried to
jumping in
take
there.
their fucking eyeball out.
They're jumping in with their skirts.
So
with
these
nothing
got
around their
pufferfish
nuts?
in their skirts, taking off their balls and emasculating these people.
Dude, that's emasculate. Just took
We need
out a
some
whole other
pufferfish in Congress.
Yeah, we need that. Jada Pinkett is a pufferfish.
We should flood Congress and fill it with pufferfish,
Well, no, because they're all
like a
emasculated.
Roman arena.
We're gonna eat your nuts.
Fucking, what do you got? Piranhas?
We're gonna
Pufferfish.
We're gonna beak your nuts.
These are the best emasculating fish on the planet.
We should just get a whole division of the military, the pufferfish division. We send them over. It's like, oh, you want to be tough? We're
Yeah.
gonna eat your nuts off.
These guys have been trained to go after your
We just
testicles.
throw Putin in a tub and with a pufferfish and he eats his nuts. It's like, what are you doing now, motherfucker?
I'm telling you right now, if I found out that we were up against a special forces team that was trained to attack your genitalia, I'd be fucking terrified. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Like that's what these guys do. These guys are the world's best fucking ball
Bro.
sack attackers.
That is the most scary fucking.
They train all year
They're gonna
like Navy SEALs
watch your nuts
with a focus on your testicles,
Yeah,
like a
dude.
honey
I'm
badger.
like, you know what? I'm probably just gonna. I'm gonna go to the gym. I got something to do.
Who-
I'm gonna turn
who's
some
over there?
videotapes.
You imagine? Wait, who are they? Oh, I ain't fucking with those guys. Their whole division is
Those
trained.
guys eat nuts for breakfast.
They're trained to emasculate people.
Dude,
What do you mean, like yell at us? Because
Bro,
you know nobody knows what
bro, and the
emasculate means
sign
either.
It's just like hanging gold nuts that hangs off your shit.
If we asked 100 people what emasculated meant, they'd be like, when your
I have
wife,
no idea.
when your wife, nobody knows that it means
No,
a
it's when
fish.
a puffer fish
It
eats
means
your
a
nuts.
fucking fish in some Indian village took
You
a
wear
testicle
a skirt
off.
and a puffer fish eats your nuts. Or like, get out of my.
That's what you
party.
get for fucking jumping in the water with a skirt on.
I
That's
mean,
all I'm
dude,
saying.
No one was like,
What do
hey.
you think you're doing?
They're like, maybe we should wear some Levi's.
Then they showed the puffer fish take a bite out of something, and it fucking they held the fish and they put like a fucking grapefruit up
Like
to
a
its mouth.
bowling ball.
And bro, it took a chunk out of this fucking thing. Like, huck. Like I was like, oh, like that's your
Pretend
ball.
those are your nuts.
Why are you doing? And then here's the thing:
That's a recruiting.
you can't
video.
figure out that this is happening. Like that the skirts are acting as a net. Like this is what you do.
Not
you
even the-
fish.
Not even the one guy is like, I don't know, it just came out of nowhere.
Like if all of a sudden,
What the fuck, dude? You're in the water with
How
your
the
balls
fuck-
hanging around. There's beaks.
Yeah. I'd be like, yo, how you lost an eye? I'm missing a ball. What the fuck is going on?
You lost an eye, and your balls are hanging in the
this
water.
place is crazy.
You lost an eye to a fish. Your balls are hanging in the water. Dude.
Yeah, we got a problem
My
around
balls
here.
are fine, dude.
We got to huddle up and figure out what's happening to us. Whenever you're involved with
We need
something
to get some
and
puffer fish.
people are collectively succumbing to small injuries, you got to huddle up and figure out what's happening before somebody has real severe shit.
You just got your nuts
You know what I
taken
mean?
off by a fucking.
Just like with Johnny Depp, we could have intervened there if he doesn't have any real friends.
be like, buddy, I know you like guitar and wine, but
Right.
your wife is a cunt.
Like, let me explain something to you. You're down a finger. She shouldn't have been on purpose. You're trying to go to fucking therapy.
The only therapy you need is a 45 pointing at her head. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yo,
But the dog, hey, honey, the dog didn't shit in the bed, and you gotta go.
You give me Amber Heard a bag
I'll
full of
fucking
puffer
squeeze
fish.
the shit out of the dog to prove it's not. Give me that little fucker.
I told you how to handle. I shit right
I
back on
would
the bed.
have. I would have
I
shit
never
right
said a
in her
word about
mouth.
it.
Oh, you want to shit in the bed, bitch? Open up, motherfucker.
You tell me if we work for the CIA and that trial's going on, and you know her career's over, I'm going. And as soon as she walks out, I'm like, hey, come here for a minute. You know who this guy is?
Do you like? Do you like puffer fish?
Do you like your fucking country? You want to work for your fucking country? You want to be a goddamn hero
Yeah,
like
we
I
need
know
to
you
start
are?
recruiting these emasculated
you.
cunts.
You think the CIA wants fucking A students? No.
They're
They
like,
want a crazy blonde bitch who shits in a bed on purpose.
they're like fembots, dude.
Bro, I'm telling you, we could hide a fucking gaggle of pufferfish on Amber Heard's person and send her overseas and just wreak havoc. And
That's
let her
it.
bring all her friends.
Code.
40 billion to Ukraine. We could have given $1 billion to Amber Heard and her stupid friends.
Turned her cunt into a puffer fish.
Yeah, we get the Kardashians involved and we send them. You know what I mean? We just send them like a tack with our culture.
Project puffer fish.
Woo!
Yeah, we're like, hey, we're recruiting for the puffer fish brigade. We heard you're a real cunt.
Yep. It's like Charlie's
Private
Angels with
cunt-
fucking
private cunt
full of
level one.
narcissistic assholes.
Yeah. I mean, we got to do some of those bitches. They're
Of
real-
course we do.
They're
And who's-
emasculating our men without even taking their nuts off.
You fucking ruined Jack
we
Sparrow.
We don't even know what emasculate means.
Of course. We don't know what that we thought it had something to
Oh,
do
you're
with them.
emasculated? You have no nuts? What do you mean?
Don't let your wife treat you that way anymore. It's not. It's the pufferfish. What?
Yeah. Also, it's not emasculated. You're just a pussy. Okay, where's your nuts? Sir?
And if
I-
you're a real man and you go fishing, you lose one testicle.
You a buff
You go back to that same fishing hole. You find the fish who took your fucking
and you buff
testicle.
fuck that fish in front of Amber
You
Heard.
find that fish.
Get over here, Amber. You want to see what? Hey, this is what happens if you shit in my bed, you cunt.
You're goddamn right.
I'm gonna buff fuck your puffer fish.
If you don't find that pufferfish that took your testicle,
Get your life together, fucking loser.
what else do we have to do? Even if you came to me as a friend and you just pulled up your skirt and you were like, look, I'd be like, I'll get a flashlight.
We have a lot of
I got a
problems.
flashlight, a spear, and a net. Let's go.
And then we need to talk about your garb when you're going fishing. Fucking loser.
Do you think it might have anything to do with the fishing net you're wearing around your waist?
Dude, why are you even getting in the water with your nuts out, dude?
Why are you letting fish emasculate you?
Maybe you want to fucking maybe it gets you off.
That fish fucked you up, bro.
All right, we're getting
All right, to hell with it.
Hey.
So listen.
let's wind it down and wind down the puffer fish nuts.
All right.
Dude, puffers just have nuts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Puffer
They
fish.
should.
Yeah, you know what they have? They have
They
them for
don't need them.
breakfast.
They take
They have 'em for
everybody else's.
breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. They got your nuts.
I don't need any nuts, loser. Where's your nuts? In my mouth.
So listen, this is technically episode, I believe, 78, but it's one on here.
It's one on YouTube, and it's 78 everywhere else. But YouTube seems to be the big, the guy you want to be hanging out with.
So if you're tuned in now, I love you. And if you stumble upon this podcast a little bit later, I still love you. Hang
Don't go
around,
fishing with a fucking skirt on.
hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell, and help us out because that's how we're going to grow. We've been doing this for a while. We kind of got it figured out, but we're still a bunch of idiots. So, the sound will be a little bit weird, and so will the content.
Sound of music.
You know what I mean? But we're gonna have fun.
Word.
This isn't just gonna be a political show where we trash people.
You don't know what we're talking
We don't know what the show is about. It's just the show. We come in, we talk about what we want to, what top news stories of the day. We think that people are interested. We need a lot of things.
Oops, all right.
You know what I mean? All right, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring the bell, the whole damn thing, and we will see you guys really soon.
Sponsored by Jesus.
Jesus is my name. My name. Jesus is my name. My name. Jesus is my name.